Week 9 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers falling down the rankings this week. The first guy, Ryu, the Toronto Blue Jays. So Ryu, he was a guy I recommended a few weeks ago to sell high, because in that tough AL East here, I just didn't think those stats were going to stay up to par, and he was going to continue to pitch well for this Toronto team, especially with tough division teams like the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Tampa Bay Rays in that division here. It's been a pretty good season number-wise, but the last few games it's been a struggle for him. The season 5-3 record, 64 innings, 60 hits, 23 earned runs, 8 homers, 11 walks, 59 Ks, 3.23 ERA, a 1.11 WHIP, and 5 quality starts. But the last couple weeks here, 17 and a third, he's gone. 1-1 record, 19 hits, 10 earned runs, 3 homers, 6 walks, 14 Ks, a 5.19 ERA, and a 1.44 WHIP, and a quality start here for Ryu. So Ryu, it's been some tough ball games for him here over the last few outings, and he's been getting hit pretty hard as well the last couple outings here as Ryu, with the bloated ERA, and also him not going deep into ball games. So the last few outings for him: May 23rd versus Tampa, 6 2/3, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, a homer, a walk, 7 Ks, 2.70 ERA, a 1.35 WHIP, and a quality start. May 28th at Cleveland, 5 innings, got the win, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks, a 3.60 ERA, a 1.20 WHIP. And June 4th versus Houston, 5 2/3 in that one, got the loss, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 walks, a K, a 9.53 ERA, and a 1.76 WHIP. So those numbers right there, obviously they're not great for Ryu, and right now he's definitely a pitcher falling down the rankings, and hopefully he could bounce back and pitch good once again. The next pitcher is Jack Flaherty of the St. Louis Cardinals. So Flaherty, he was off to a pretty good start to start the season here, but now the injuries caught up to him, and he's on the 10-day injured list here with an oblique strain, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. Obviously, the oblique strain the last 5 or 10 years in Major League Baseball has been a major issue, and we've seen guys be off for a month or two with the injury. And on the season, he was on a tear, 8-1 record, 62 innings, 44 hits, 20 earned runs, 7 homers, 20 walks, 67 strikeouts, 2.90 ERA, a 1.03 WHIP, and 7 quality starts. But the last couple weeks before he went down with the injury, 8 2/3, 0-1 record, 5 earned runs, 8 hits, 3 homers, 3 walks, 12 Ks, 5.19 ERA, and a 1.27 WHIP. So Flaherty, he was on a tear like I mentioned, but the last 2 outings before he went down just weren't that great for him. They were mediocre to poor outings. So the last 3 outings for him: May 19th versus Pittsburgh, 6 innings, got the win, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a homer, 4 walks, 7 Ks, 3 ERA, a 1.33 WHIP, and a quality start. May 25th versus the White Sox, 3 2/3, got the loss, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a 7.36 ERA, 2.18 WHIP. And then May 31st at the Dodgers, 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers, a walk, 9 Ks, a 3.60 ERA, and 0.60 WHIP. So right here, with the injury in the last few outings, him just not pitching up to the level he's been doing all season, he's definitely falling down the rankings, and hopefully he comes back from injury soon. The next pitcher is Chris Paddock of the San Diego Padres. So I had high hopes for Paddock coming into the season, and I got him in a few of my fantasy leagues. But right now, it's been another tough season for him this year. 2-4 record, 43 hits, 22 earned runs, 7 homers, 12 walks, 42 strikeouts, 4.24 ERA, a 1.18 WHIP, and 2 quality starts in the last couple weeks here for Paddock. 10 1/3, 0-1 record, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 homers, a walk, 8 Ks, a 5.23 ERA, 0.87 WHIP, and a quality start. So Paddock, I figured, on a stacked team here like the San Diego Padres, who should be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in all of Major League Baseball this season, that he'll be comfortable, he'll be pitching well, and he'll be the Paddock of old. But we saw the first season from him in his rookie year, but this season and last season, it just hasn't been the case here for Paddock. He's not really going deep into games. I know he's pitched well the last couple outings, but then he got bombed at Chicago May 31st, and we'll see what he does in tomorrow's ball game versus the New York Mets. But the last few outings, May 21st versus Seattle, 6 innings, got the win, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 1.50 ERA, and 0.83 whip in a quality start. May 26th at the Brew Crew, 6 innings, no decision, 2 hits, 1 earned run, a homer, 2 Ks, a 1.50 ERA, and an 0.33 whip in a quality start. And then his latest outing at the Cubs, he got hit hard in that one. 4 1/3, got the loss. 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 homers, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 10.38 ERA, and a 1.62 whip. So he was pitching pretty decent until that last outing versus the Cubs, and hopefully he gets back on track versus the New York Mets in tomorrow's ball game. But right now, he's definitely a pitcher falling down the rankings here as Paddock, and hopefully he just gets things going and bounces back. The next pitcher is Steven Strasburg of the Washington Nationals. So another week here and another injury for Strasburg, and he went on the injured list a couple days ago with a neck strain. And he's just been a tough player to own in fantasy baseball the last 2 or 3 seasons here. So on the season, only 21 1/3, 1-2 record, 16 hits, 11 earned runs, 4 homers, 14 walks, 21 strikeouts, 4.57 ERA, a 1.38 whip, and a quality start. And last week for him, 6 1/3, 0-1 record, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, 3 walks, 6 Ks, a 5.68 ERA, and a 1.42 whip. So Strasburg, he just can't get out of his own way. He's injury prone, and he also doesn't have good luck either. And right here, maybe this was a guy that was a couple-year wonder, and he got his World Series title a few seasons ago here in 2019, I believe, with this team. And here, they just can't get it going now as this Washington National team. And Strasburg, he's been struggling, obviously. He's fallen down the rankings, and now he's on the injured list. And we'll see how long he's going to be out with the neck strain. But even before the neck strain, he was just a mediocre to poor pitcher at best. So May 27th versus Cincinnati, 5 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, a walk, 5 Ks, 5.40 ERA, a 1.20 whip. And June 1st at Atlanta, only 1 1/3, and left the ball game. Like I mentioned with the neck strain, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 walks, a K, a 6.75 ERA, and a 2.25 whip. So right here, he's on the injured list. He hasn't been pitching well, and right now he's definitely falling down the rankings. And the 5th and final pitcher falling down the rankings this week's Patrick Corbin, the teammate of Strasburg, obviously, of the Washington Nationals. And he got the huge contract a few seasons ago in the offseason here from Washington. And he just hasn't lived up to the contract, in my opinion. Last season was a poor year for him at 2-7. And so far this season, 57 1/3, 3-5 record, 40 earned runs, 65 hits, 12 homers, 22 walks, 45 strikeouts, an abysmal 6.28 ERA, a 1.52 whip, and 4 quality starts in the last few weeks here for Corbin. 16 innings, 1-2 record, 21 hits, 12 earned runs, 2 homers given up, 6 walks, 12 strikeouts, 6.75 ERA, a 1.69 whip. So right here, I just don't know what happened to this guy. Maybe he was a 1 or 2 year wonder. With Arizona, he had the great year, obviously, and then he cashed in with Washington that offseason for the huge $130 million deal. So the last few outings here for Corbin, May 23rd versus Baltimore, 5 2/3, got the win, 11 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 6.35 ERA, a 2.29 whip. May 29th versus the Brewers, 5 innings, got the loss, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, 2 walks, 5 Ks, a 7.20 ERA, and a 1.20 whip. And June 3rd at Atlanta, 5 1/3 again, got the loss, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 6.75 ERA, and a 1.50 whip. So right now, Corbin, he hasn't had a quality start since May 13th. He's been getting hit hard all around the National League, and he's also been dropped in 8% of fantasy leagues. So right now, he's just a pitcher I can't trust. He's a pitcher I probably would drop if I owned Corbin in a few leagues. And right now, he's a pitcher definitely falling down the rankings. So that's a few pitchers falling down the rankings here in Week 9 of the fantasy baseball season.